It is a mixed bag when it comes to news on the Gulf Coast today. The good news is that Tropical Storm Marco weakened significantly before coming ashore last night. But the bad news is that Tropical Storm Laura has become a hurricane this morning and is expected to make landfall Thursday in the western Gulf as a dangerous Category 3 storm. CBS News meteorologist and climate specialist Jeff Berardelli is here to talk about this. Jeff, let's talk about Laura becoming a hurricane this morning. Where is it headed? When will it come ashore?
All right, so it's headed towards the Texas coast and the Louisiana coast, somewhere right around that area, and it's likely to come ashore tomorrow night into early on Thursday morning, and it could be a devastating storm. So this is one we really need to pay very close attention to and heed any evacuation warnings from your local authorities. So looking at the storm right now, you can see the purple. That's an explosion of thunderstorms right near the center. Now, the good news is this morning and early this afternoon, there hasn't been too much more intensification, so it hasn't quite gotten its bearings yet. However, we think sometime later today and tonight it may start to undergo some more rapid intensification. There's a look at the system. It is conceivable that perhaps a little bit of a ragged eye is beginning to try to form. Once it does, that's when it really starts to become much stronger. Hurricane watches out for the area around Houston, Galveston, east towards Beaumont, Port Arthur, and into Cameron, Louisiana. That's the official forecast track. It is forecast to be a Cat 2 during the day tomorrow and then probably make landfall tomorrow night, early Thursday morning. Right now, the center of the cone is right around Port Arthur and Beaumont, but it could be as far west as Galveston and maybe the Bolivar Peninsula. And then the system moves north and it weakens as it heads into the Mississippi Valley and eventually into the Tennessee Valley as well.
One of the key things you and I discussed yesterday was just the water temperature in the Gulf. Of course, warm waters are like fuel for these storms. And so is that the main variable for Laura between now and landfall, is how much energy it's likely to pick up?
Yeah, and it's fairly unlimited in the Gulf of Mexico right now. First of all, wherever you see the yellow across the Atlantic Basin, above normal water temperature. So all of the Atlantic Basin is above normal. That includes the Gulf of Mexico. But look at this. This is really key. The eastern part of the Gulf has water temperatures 86 to 88, plenty warm for a major hurricane. But the western Gulf, even warmer. So once this storm crosses over into the western Gulf with water temperatures 88 to 90 degrees, that's when we really think it'll pick up steam and intensity. So you notice it's moving along, it's starting to produce an eye, and then all of a sudden it really starts to get going tomorrow morning. That's when it could be on the cusp already of becoming a major hurricane. And then it makes landfall, and you can see this classic circular shape as it makes landfall. And right now, the RPM model, this is important. Earlier today, it was a little further west. It shifted east towards the Bolivar Peninsula, so it's kind of coming more in line with the rest of the models, which is anywhere between the Bolivar area and Beaumont, Port Arthur.
And it could still kind of, wobble here before it makes landfall, considering Marco came through and dumped a light amount of water down. What effects will we see from Laura when it makes landfall as a Category 3, if that does in fact happen?
And we think it probably will. And the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center is kind of a low-end 3, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it as a middle or high-end 3, so a major hurricane. By the way, 85% of damage in hurricanes happens in Cat 3s, Cat 4s, and Cat 5s. That's the majority of damage. So here's the storm according to the RPM model, just one of our models. This is one variation. About to make landfall tomorrow night into early Thursday, and you can see these winds really start to pick up. Those are gusts between 110 and 120 miles an hour, but again, some areas will probably see some wind gusts to 140 miles an hour. Again, the area of greatest concern is from Galveston over to, the Port Arthur, Beaumont area. It's probably going to make landfall somewhere on the upper Texas coast. But again, that could vary. As you said, it will jog here and there. In terms of potential storm surge, where you see the red and purple, that's 8 to 12 feet of storm surge. So if you're asked to evacuate, this is life-threatening. You're going to need to evacuate. In terms of power outages, extensive. Anywhere from the western half of Louisiana straight through the Galveston area. The purple is where almost everybody is going to lose power, or most folks will lose power. And in terms of rain, because it's moving along, this is not going to be the biggest impact. The biggest impact, storm surge and devastating wind gusts and power outages and, a lot of destruction to structures. But in terms of rainfall, where you see the white right there, that's over a foot of rain. So that will also be concerned. Again, just to kind of sum it all up, the latest computer models are converging on the Port Arthur, Beaumont area over to about the Bolivar Peninsula, maybe as far west as Galveston, but it looks like right in this general area is where we have to watch closest for this. but it will change. So keep tuned.
Yep, great update. We'll keep connecting with you throughout the day. Jeff Berardelli, thank you very much.